Okay, fine. We'll see like what is Toska. Let me share my screen. So we will be having the Toska demo. Like we will understand what is Toska, and before that, we will start with testing concept. Like what is testing, why testing is required, and what are the types of testing. So in that, we will discuss more about automation testing and what are the automation tools available in the market at present, and how Tosca is different from the other tools. Okay, and why to use Tosca, what are the advantages, and at the end, I will show you a sample test case in the Tosca tool. Okay, so first of all, what is testing? So for example, you have some application or something, just generally assume that you have brought some product like either online or offline. Okay, so once you bring any product, then you will test it whether it's working fine or not or something. If it is working fine, then you will recommend others to use it, right? Then the product, the market or the business of that product will get increased, and you will recommend, and that growth will happen. So in the same way, that is a product. And when we talk about any application or any web application or anything, okay, so even for that also, once we develop something, we need to test it whether it satisfied the customer requirement, how the customer wanted us to develop, whether we have developed in that way or not. So to do that, we will be doing testing. So consider I have an application, okay, Flipkart, any application, but for now, everyone knows this application, which is nothing but Flipkart, where a customer can buy any product online, right? So consider how the testing starts is, first of all, this Flipkart, okay, the some person in the Flipkart, they will approach, they have an idea like I need to develop this particular application. Okay, in this particular application, what I want any customer to log in or create an account, and they can shop anything online. Okay, so they have this idea to develop this, whether they will be developing on their own or they will give this assignment or the project to some other company. Okay, so just assume that Flipkart is a client. Flipkart has this idea like Flipkart wants to create the application where a user can shop online. It is develop, it want to develop some application. So it will so this is a client, he is having some idea, some requirement. Okay, so like I need a web page like this where I need to have application where I can buy, a user can buy mobiles, user can buy fashion, electronics, beauty, anything. So and my project looks like this, the look and feel of the application should be like this. I should have the Flipkart here. I should have a text box and a search button, login button. So these all are requirements. Okay, so Flipkart is having requirements that my application should be like this. So those are called as requirement. And Flipkart company will approach some other companies to develop this application. So example, just assume that it called, it has given this project to Infosys. Okay, so Infosys. So Flipkart is a client for Infosys. Infosys will develop this application and hand over to Flipkart. So Infosys, once this Flipkart gives this requirement, see, I want this kind of application, please develop it. So Infosys will take this requirement and it will form a team. Okay, it will form a team. So team will consist of developers. Okay. So agile team will consist of Scrum and all, but just a brief, I'm telling, like it will develop a team where we have two team. One is developers and one more is testers. So what developers will do, whatever the requirements are there. So like this application, the Flipkart link should come here. There should be a search, but search text box, and this is a search button, and I have a login button, become seller, so and so. Okay, they developers will develop all this using some programming language. Maybe it's a Python, maybe Java, JavaScript, anything. Okay, with programming language, they will develop it. So as soon as they develop it, okay, as soon as they develop it, what testers will do? They will be sending us the development, I mean the application. For example, the application not whole, I mean fully developed and sent to the testers, but they will develop some part of the application, and part of that application will be sent to the developers as part of URL. So they will be sending this URL. Like the developers will tell, I have developed it. Please, this is the URL. Go through it and test whether it's working fine or not. Okay. So as the testers, what we will do is whatever the developers has developed, okay, that particular application we will test it. So the starting stage, okay, when the developer will start, I mean consider in this application developer has developed only this login application, okay, only this login application or login part he has developed it. So he will send only this part to us as a tester. What we will do is we will test whether that login part is working fine or not. So the starting stage when developer will develop some part of the application. So that kind of application, some part is called as a build. Okay, when the developer will develop some part of the application, which is nothing but in terms of testing, it is called as a build. They will dump some in some environment, okay, they will dump that code, okay, that code, programming language, that code they will dump in some place, and they will send the URL that I have created it, please go and test it. So the starting, when they will send us the URL, the starting testing, okay, the starting phase of the testing where the testers will start as soon as the build is developed is called as smoke testing. Is called as smoke testing, and the testers will test whether the particular application, so login, so whether a login label is there or not, and I'm getting this get access to your orders if everything is present or not, and this is a laptop, if so these images are present or not, and this part is in color blue or not, and here I have a text boxes, and that text box label is enter email, mobile number or not. So, and when I enter whether it is accepting my letters, I mean my values or not, and do I have forgot button. So like this, everything, each and every part of this application will be tested by the tester. So where from where testers will get this requirement even? So this requirements which gathered, which was given by the client, they will supply to developers and testers. So tester will also have the requirement handy. They will just select what are the requirement assigned, I mean required for this particular application. They will go and test it. So suppose in between, if I get something, so I am trying to enter the value. Just assume that I'm trying to enter the value, but this test box is not accepting any values. Okay, meaning I want to enter something, but it is not accepting. Meaning entante, so the requirement is not fulfilled. It should accept, right? When the requirement is not fulfilled and it's the application is not working as per the requirement, then it is called as a defect. Okay, so I want to I'm trying to enter something, but it is not accepting that, but it should accept. It is not accepting, meaning there is something wrong in the application, there is something error in the code or something like that. So that kind of situation is called as a defect. Okay, so when the particular scenario or a particular application is not working as per the requirement, then it is called as a defect. So once this defect is formed, what testers will do? Testers will create a defect. Okay, they will create a defect and assign the developer who has developed it. They will send this to developer. Developer will see what is the issue and what was the error, what was wrong in that. He will check and he will fix it. Something a modification, something he will do, and he will check it. And again, once it fixed, he will again send back to testers. So testers will retest it, retest and whenever we will be raising any defect, and once the developer fixed it, then we will be testing again to confirm whether the defect is actually gone or still it occurs. So I will again test it. Now it is accepting my values. Okay, so then the defect is closed. It's working as per the requirement, then defect is closed. So this is a process. It will repeat it repeatedly. We will be doing this kind of process. So why we will be doing this testing? Just to make sure that a particular application is working fine without having any defects. Okay, so that whenever we will hand over this particular application to client, there should not be any defects when we hand over it. So this kind of process is called as testing. So once testing, okay. So in testing, so testing is a method to check whether the actual software product matches the expected requirement and to ensure that the software product is defect-free. There should not be any defects. Okay. And we have two types of testing. One is, and we have so many types of testing, but general way, we have two types. One is manual testing and one more is automation testing. So what is manual testing? If as a tester, I am directly interacting with the application. Okay, I am directly interacting with the application and I am entering the value to check whether particular application, what particular things, particular controls are behaving as per the requirements or not. So that kind of testing I am doing, like, I am interacting directly with the application. So that kind of testing is called as manual testing. So coming to automation testing. So here we are not going to, directly interacting with the application. Instead, we will be having some and some automation tool. Okay, any tool, whether it is a Selenium, whether it is a Toska, UFT, any automation tool, we will be using it, and we will write some script. Okay, we will write some script, and that automation tool will take care of all the execution part. Okay, me as as a tester, I am not involving here. Just I will create a code, and once I run it, it will take everything. It will execute everything. So why we go for automation when we have a manual testing? Then suppose assume that this is my Flipkart application. Okay, and consider now Independence Day, right? So some developer have added some modification or some new functionality that depending on your payment, some customer will get some percentage of discount and some get some discount. So that new functionality gets added, and you have some, assume that you have hundreds of scenarios, okay, to test it, and you have only 1 day of time. Then what you can do, if you have automation ready, then just you need to click on execute, and within 24 hours, or if you just click on night run, by the morning time all the test cases will be executed. So that time will be saved, and the whole day which is left for you, you can just whatever the field test cases or something, you can look through around it. But when you do it manually, it will take a lot of time, and we as a humans, there may be a chance like we will commit some mistake, or we may miss some scenarios or something like that. So in order, when you have less time and more execution to be done, then we will go for automation testing, where we will be creating the test cases, we will be storing it somewhere, and once the time comes, we will be executing. So it will save our time and efforts also. Okay, so that is the reason we will be, mostly we will prefer automation testing over manual testing. So in automation tools also, we have so many types. Okay, manual testing is nothing but tester check the essential features and all. The goal is to complete the test execution in less amount of time. Okay, in automation, we will take the help of some automation tools to write some script. We can write a code or something scripts to execute it, and the tool will take care of all the execution and test cases, everything. So this is how manual and automation testing will be done. So in market, we have different automation tools available. Just I picked up only two, which are, famous. So QTP and UFT were famous from like last year. Presently I think no one is using it, but still for last 10 years back or something, these tools were very demanding. Okay,